Okay, y'all, I'm about to do bacon, potato, and eggs in a jar. These are going to be pressure canned and sealed and preserved for my husband, who's a trucker. He's going to be a very happy camper having fresh breakfast eggs and potatoes on his truck. He's going to warm up in his microwave and enjoy it with some homemade salsa. So this is curly fries if you want to freeze up some curly fries. Also, this is going to be for breakfast in a jar. I'm making for my husband. Alright, I'm going to put these ingredients together for our breakfast jars. Do I have to cut potatoes? I have to cut chopped bacon. I'm doing raw bacon. You could do cooked if you wanted. And then I'm going to fill this with eggs. I might do another layer, like a layer of potatoes. Maybe a few more. This is my first time doing this. I'm kind of just winging it. Okay, I did mix salsa in with my eggs. And I did blend the mixture, so I'm just going to go up to that first line and two. Alright, and that is your breakfast in a jar. You could do sausage, you can do pepper, onions. I made homemade salsa, so I'm just using that. And I will show you guys when it's all done. So for the recipe on the breakfast jars, I used 18 eggs. I used 1 pound of bacon, chopped up, raw, and about 4 potatoes, which I just ran through my apple core and pillar, and then I just chopped them in quarters. So it took it skinned them, it peeled them, and it took the core out of them, which would be great for spiral if you like curly fries. You can freeze those up and have some yummy curly fries. I just did it because it's simple and easy. And I want to make a bunch of breakfast jars for my husband for over the road as a trucker. And so I have them in the pressure canner right now. And so I will run this for 10 minutes, allow the steam to come out, and I will get the pressure up to 10 minutes. And because it has raw bacon and they are pint size, they will run for 75 minutes. If I would have done quarts, it would have processed for 90 minutes. Alright, I'm going to get these jars off the canner. This is what it should look like. Down to 0. It's going to sit in here at least 30 minutes. There's not going to be any pressure, but you want to take the pressure gauge off. And I always clean this and rinse it out with vinegar. And around this top area too. And this should easily come off. There's a lot of heat coming out right there, so be careful unless you want to sting your face. Free facial. Alright, I'm going to take your jar lifter. You want to put it out on a counter and let them rest. Don't want to touch them or do anything with them, just let them cool off. And you should start, when they start cooling down, you should hear that nice ping sound. And you did have a little bit of leakage. You can see inside. It's a little bit of leakage. It looks nice and cooked. in a day or so, I'm gonna have, when my husband's home, I'm gonna have us give these a try, and I'll probably make up some more. There we go. Doesn't take long for that team. So this is it for the breakfast in a jar. Egg, got bacon and potatoes. Egg, bacon, and potatoes. Let me know if you guys are gonna do this, and see you next video. Hey y'all, today we're doing more of the breakfast jars. If y'all haven't seen my first video, part 1 is up and part 2 will be up by the time I load this one, on how to make breakfast in a jar. We did bacon, we did raw bacon, eggs, and potatoes. And raw in the jar, and then you process it in the canner, it will be fully cooked. Alright, so make sure you watch the first 2 parts. And then today I'm just showing y'all what it looks like. We're doing a 1/2 cup of raw potatoes, a 1/2 cup of sausage, another 1/2 cup of raw potatoes. I've already got 3 inches of water in my canner boiling up, and then 18 eggs blended with a cup of salsa. And I'm gonna use this like water to just fill the jar to the first one. I'm gonna do a little less. I think last time when I did my jars, because I did raw bacon, it actually had grease. So I'll do it right below the line. But this sausage is fully drained, so there shouldn't be any leakage in these. And so for these jars, you're gonna process it at your elevation, weight, and then for 75 minutes. That's really hoping this. Okay, so I think I did 12. I was gonna see if that would work, but it's not working. So yeah, I do need to go ahead and do some more of the eggs to fill the jars. So yeah, that was 12 eggs. So I got like 3.5 jars, so I'm gonna have to go ahead and do my other, yeah, I might need even more. So I'm sure I could do a little water if I need to. So I'm out of eggs. I've been using up the eggs like crazy. My neighbor has chickens, and I've been buying their eggs. Well, we're gonna have chickens in the spring. I want to wait until after our freeze, because I don't want to have to worry about, I could do the full-grown chickens. Either way, we're going to wait until the spring, and I want to do the babies so my boys can watch them grow up, and just the whole process of raising chickens, turn it into full-grown, laying the eggs, and then we're also going to hatch the eggs. The whole process, and then we're also going to process the chickens. We're going to do the whole thing. With the goal is to have a fully functional homestead that can make us an income, eventually full-time, to start just a side income. Also connecting with members of our community to barter and trade with. I think that's a very good thing to do when you're preparing for a collapse, for shortages in the store and such, is to barter and exchange and trade with your neighbors and have skills or things of value that you can offer in exchange. So I could offer foods, canned foods. It might be of value to some people. But animals, when there's a shortage on meat and eggs, or the prices get too crazy, then people will look for cheaper options, and they'll turn to homesteaders, to farmers. So that could be me, it could be you. Alright, so this is what it looks like in the canner. I did put some vinegar in the water. I want to do 2 to 3 inches, whatever your pressure canner says for you to do. And you want to make sure to space them out and have the little lifter underneath. You don't want to put them directly on the thing. So I already cleaned off the top of my pressure canner. And so now you're going to put this on here, which so you're going to put this top on here, make sure your gasket is in there, and shut it. And you want to steam this vent right here for 10 minutes. You want to let all the heat go out of it. Which, because my water is already boiling, it kind of speeds up the process a little bit. And then after that, then I'm going to put my weight on there, which I'll also clean with vinegar. That weight on there takes, for me, for my canner, it takes about another 10 minutes. This is a Presto 23 quart canner from Amazon. I think it was like 120. So yeah, and then from my elevation, I'm at 10 pounds. So you don't want to go under that. But once you get to that elevation, you're going to need to adjust your stovetop. Mine's electric, so you got to babysit it. And for me, it's usually in between 6 and 7. You don't want it to go too higher. It can go up to like 2, like, you know, up to 12. But make sure it doesn't go below at all, or you have to reset your time. So that's never happened. But so these are the smaller ones, the pints. So you're going to do 75 minutes. If they were quarts, it would be 90 minutes because it has meat. And that is it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and you will follow for more cooking, preserving, prepping, and all that stuff. Alright, so I just finished the 10 minutes of releasing the pressure, and now I put my gauge on there and it's making a sound, and this should start going up, and it usually takes about 10 minutes. And so I like to go ahead and set my timer again, so this helps me stay motivated during the process. And if it doesn't start going up, then I kind of move this around until it starts reading the pressure. So you see it's not really going up. There we go, there we go. It's starting to move. Alright. Starting to move. So, yeah, it's pretty tedious, this part. It takes about 5 minutes for it to reach the 5, and then another 5 for it to reach the 10, and you feel like it's never gonna get there. But it gets there. And I have my heat on 8. Now I could turn it up if it's really hot because I preheat the water, but I'll turn it to about 9. And then once it reaches the, yeah, I got your thing. Once it reaches 10, then I'm going to turn my heat down to about 6, between 6 and 7. And that is about where it stays the whole time. That's a good spot from my stove. You'll have to, you know, each person's will be different based upon their equipment. And that is the next step in pressure canning. Alright, so see my timer. About a minute left and my pressure just reached right at 9 minutes. So you get to know your routine and how long everything takes. So now I need to turn this down between the 6 and the 7, and I'm going to set my timer for 75 minutes. And that is all there is to it. A lot of people, they get nervous and intimidated, and I was too. I messed up too. Look at my YouTube video, you'll see my budget prepper cam where first time I canned. It's a funny video. I didn't know what I was doing, but you got to be able to overcome to learn and grow and do things that are important, you know, for your family. Preserving food, I would say, is top priority. It should be for every household. God bless. Okay guys, I'm about to pressure can some cheese, and this can be water bath canned. So with the Instapot, it does not reach the heat to pressure can. So on the pressure can one, I'm actually going to water bath can, if that makes sense, for 20 minutes. This gourmet nacho cheese. And I can already see air bubbles coming in, which means that the jars were not sealed correctly. So there might be some leakage. So, just going to do 20 minutes. I already let the water get hot. And so, in the Instant Pot, it probably does not need 20 minutes. I am not an expert at using this to can. This is the first thing I've canned. And it's just because it only needs canned for 20 minutes in a water bather that I feel comfortable doing it. And then I'm going to do some bigger jars. So this is just a half of a pint. And I'm going to do some pint jars too. And my bigger water bath canner. So that is nacho cheese sauce.